Before we get into this special weekend edition of Just the Truth, let me talk with you a minute about Mike Lindell and MyPillow. You know how much I love this company. And Mike Lindell, like he often does, is responding in a big way to those who've been affected by Hurricane Helene in the Carolinas. He is sending 50,000 pillows to the Carolinas. 50,000. That's why I support this great company. Once again, MyPillow has been canceled by other box stores. This is why we need to continue to support them. And he has a great special for you right now. Support MyPillow so he can help those affected by Hurricane Helene. The standard MyPillow retails for $49.98. Now, for a limited time, you can receive one for only $14.98 when you use promo code Joey, and you go to MyPillow.com or call 800-893-4059. There's a limited number of these, only 10, so do not miss out on this amazing deal while supplies last. Order now using promo code Joey at 800-893-4058, or you can always order at MyPillow.com. In this special edition of Just the Truth, we're going to talk about people who are making a difference as they help people deal with the devastation and destruction of Hurricane Helene. We'll talk with Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette. We'll talk with Major Mike Harris with the Salvation Army in Greenville. Alexia Newman and the special people at Carolina Pregnancy Center are gathering diapers and formula to take them to Western North Carolina. And a new company opening a manufacturing plant in 2025, Nissin Foods USA. They're sending 50,000 meals to those affected in Hurricane Helene's path as well. Vice President of Communications Eric Grunissen will join us as well. Let's get started.
Welcome to Word on the Street with the Carolina's own Joey Hudson. Conversations with movers and shakers and stories and insights from local difference makers. Tailored just for the Carolinas. It's Word on the Street, powered by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. On News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. Here's Joey Hudson.
Welcome in. We have a special show for you this week. What a week we've had, haven't we, with the results of 1 week into the relief and recovery efforts of Hurricane Helene. Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette joins us in just a moment. On an earlier conversation, I was able to catch up to talk about what the state is doing for our relief and recovery efforts and how the federal government will assist with that. Also, we'll check in with Major Mike Harrison with the Salvation Army. Alexia Newman with Carolina Pregnancy Centers will give us an update on how nonprofits are faring in wake of Hurricane Helene. And we'll check in with one of our new corporate citizens here in the upstate. Nissin Foods USA is building a new manufacturing facility. It'll be opening in August of 2025. Eric Grunissen, their Vice President of Communications, talks about how this new company, even though they're not open, is chipping in to also help out with the relief efforts. On our guest line, Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette. Wow, what a week we have had. Still a lot of work to do. Give us an update on where we are. Of course, President Joe Biden was in the upstate this week. Are we getting what we need from the federal government?
He made some assurances to the governor that whatever we needed, he would provide. We'll see, 30 days for all of our counties to get their assessments put together. We have a lot of, when the governor declared a state of emergency, that opens up the triggers for the relief that we need. So we saw a list come out, the counties that have already been approved through FEMA for disaster relief. There are still more counties. If your county wasn't on there, please do not panic. The counties that got theirs in first, the state's not sitting on anything. As soon as we get it, we're turning it in. And I think that's the assurances that the governor was looking for from the president, is that, we would not have pushback on the counties who really need help. And so we're moving on with that. We have a lot of great people, Joey, helping, volunteering, cutting down trees with their chainsaws, trying to help crews. Please be careful. We've had a lot of destruction. And road crews working around the clock, whether it's SCDOT, our State Guard, our South Carolina National Guard, cutting down trees. We have teams in from Louisiana, very skilled. They get hit with hurricanes all the time. It's been an outpouring of love from across the country coming to help South Carolinians.
Yeah, and it's bad, of course, what we're experiencing, but it's good to see that there is that spirit of helping one another. And you're just really seeing that. I had a chance earlier this week to talk with Jared Spencer, who is mayor of Cowpens. And he said one of the things that has surprised him the most is how Cowpens is a small town. They don't have some of the resources that other cities have. He said, our people just got out and went to work, and they didn't expect somebody to come along and do this for them.
I think you see that in the rural areas. David and I, our family, we live here in Travelers Rest. And when we woke up last Friday, we probably had upwards of 60 trees down on our property. And as David and the boys were getting our chainsaws ready to go out and see what we could do, we heard chainsaws. We get to the end of our driveway, and there's two Greenville County deputies who were trying to get through the road to assess and see people. And there just happened to be a PRT ranger behind them who had some chainsaws, and they were cutting trees. So you're right. The boys, David, they jumped in. I'm more of a limb puller. I don't know if if this lieutenant governor should be wielding a chainsaw. I don't know if that's my forte, but I can pull limbs with the rest of them. But, and that's what we kind of saw, is that spirit, and only hear about the bad things, the people who are losing their temper, the people who are arguing with other people. For every one person that's acting out, there are 10 people doing something great. And I think that needs to be the message, is helping one another, helping our neighbor. And we know, hey, I got power on, late yesterday. I'm sitting in it with everybody. I understand that it can get frustrating. I have a 95-year-old mom that lives with me. It can get frustrating and scary, and you feel like but we are still so blessed. That's what I kept going back to. My family's safe. A tree didn't come through my house. This is not comfortable. But we'll just look at the pictures of the devastation where people have lost their homes, their businesses, a loved one, their cars. I mean, their whole house wiped away. That brings it back into perspective, Joey. Like, this may not feel comfortable, but dear Lord, my family's safe.
Yep, you're right. That's the important thing. And you're right, too. The bad behavior, that is just few and far in between. I mean, overall, people are just jumping in. I've just watched some of the relief efforts, and like the group at the downtown airport who had people coming in with helicopters and airplanes, and they were literally flying supplies into Western North Carolina, into areas that could not be reached otherwise. We've had people literally from all over the country come to the Carolinas to help us. So that's been encouraging for sure. Now, let's go back for a minute. Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette with me today. You mentioned the counties and that there could be other counties added to the list. I've seen on social media, and you know how it is with social media. You can't always rely, but I've seen some posts on social media talking about a certain county saying that, well, our county waited too late and they're not going to be eligible now. Some counties will be added along the way, as I understand it, correct?
That's absolutely true. All the counties have 30 days from the incident, right? The disaster incident. So I've been intentional about my posting, and that was one of the posts that I did, is please stop listening to Facebook. I have to remind my 95-year-old mother that, because Facebook is a new thing, right? And she will tell me all these things she hears, and I'll say, Mom, where did you hear that? And she'll say, oh, I read it on Facebook. And I'm like, okay, Mom, remember. If you don't know, if you've heard this from your neighbor's cousin twice removed down the road, probably not true, because that story has grown. And 30 days, these are the facts. Every county has 30 days from the date of the incident to submit all their things to the state. The state then submits it to FEMA on the federal side, and then FEMA has to approve it. And that comes from each individual county. If you have questions, please email them. Be kind. I mean, they're working hard. Some counties have more resources than other counties and have bigger teams and things that could get them around quicker to do these assessments. And please look to official sources for your information. Look to the governor's press conferences. Call SCEMD. If you have service, go out there and look at the reports. They're putting them out there regularly. And let's all work together. Because we'll get through this together.
Good advice. And listen to News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas, because we are providing information. You know, this is an instance to where you really see the importance of radio, because we have from day one been talking about resources, where to go for things, and it's also a reminder to have an emergency kit and have a radio with batteries in it.
Joey, you're absolutely right. When you hear us on TV talking, saying, get ready, you guys, I mean, I've been bragging about talk radio since I've been lieutenant governor, and you've been my talk radio friend for the whole time. I know sometimes you think, oh, last time I heard this, nothing really happened. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, right? Isn't that the old adage?
That's right.
So when you hear these things, be very conscious of what's going to happen, test those batteries, get your flashlights out, make sure you have some bottled water sitting around just in case. Hey, what's the worst thing that can happen? You have a flashlight with some good batteries and your radio is set to go, right? That's the worst thing that can happen in being prepared.
Yep. Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette, it's always a pleasure. You be safe out there, and look, leave the chainsaws to David and the boys. Don't be messing with the chainsaws.
You are absolutely right, David. Anybody needs somebody to pull limbs, I'm your girl. I can pull limbs with the best of them.
Always a pleasure. Be safe out there.
God bless, Joe, and God bless all of you. Please take care and be kind.
Sure thing. And just remember, you can go to 989WORD.com, 989WORD.com. We have a full list of all the resources, the nonprofits, the government agencies that you may need information from as far as the relief effort, where supplies are, where you can get help on certain things. So 98.9 WORD. And portions of today's show made possible by Ingles Markets. Let me share with you a special message from our partner at Ingles. They have been hit hard as well. They wrote, Ingles Markets is devastated by the catastrophic damage from Helene. Unprecedented destruction and tragic loss of life have touched every town, city, community, and business. Our hometown, Black Mountain, North Carolina, which houses our distribution center, was one of those areas. We had loss of power, critical infrastructure, transport vehicles, inventory, and yes, even loss of life. We were all severely impacted. Ingles has stores in our region with significant damage and some stores still without power and water. We're working diligently to bring operations back online and begin helping our community. Ingles is known for being there when hard times fall. It's part of our fabric to respond. We're making progress to come back online, and we want to thank you for your patience. To all of you and our beloved Western North Carolina mountains, we love you. And this is just a time for us to rally around Ingles as well. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This is Word on the Street with Joey Hudson on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. This is Word on the Street with Joey Hudson, powered by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
As the upstate communities are just trying to deal with the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, there's a lot of people who are hurting, a lot of people who need help. And of course, it's always great to live in a community where you have a lot of organizations out there who are doing just that. One of those being the Salvation Army of Greenville, Pickens, and Oconee counties. On our guest line today, Major Mike Harris. Good afternoon. How are you, sir?
I am very well, thank you. How are you?
I am wonderful under the circumstances. So, boy, what a week we've had, and I know you guys have just been springing into action. You do a great ministry every single day, but then when you add a storm response like this onto that, I know you've had a busy week.
It's been quite the week. Of course, it started out with the storm itself, which I think surprised all of us. I don't think anyone quite expected the level of carnage that we have. But as you know, we have a couple of shelters here, men's shelter, women and children's shelter. We enlarged that to kind of an inclement weather shelter while the storms came through, so we were able to house quite a few more people. But since then, it's been a case of working with the local EOC, which is the Emergency Operations Center, with our local nonprofits and partners, in trying to basically serve this community, which, by the way, is exceptionally generous.
Yeah. Well, and I've lived here my entire life, Major, and I know that you have been here, just over a year or so now? Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
And
So
did I know that in just over a year I'd hit the biggest disaster that the area's seen?
So over the years, having lived here my entire life, I've seen how our community can respond, and it's surprising, but yet it's not surprising either. I had a chance yesterday to speak with the mayor of Cowpens, Jared Spencer, and Cowpens, of course, is a small area, and he said, we don't have the resources that bigger towns and cities have. He said, but what we do have are neighbors who take care of neighbors, and he said it's just been just astounded him at how quickly people have jumped in to move trees and do whatever they needed to do to open their little town back up.
Absolutely. We like many, our neighborhood was totally blocked in when it first occurred, and people got out with chainsaws and made a way, which has been invaluable to us because for some reason the Salvation Army's Area Command men's shelter and the dining room never lost power. We were amongst that 5% that didn't.
Wow.
Thankfully, our women and children's shelter is still without. Unfortunately, that's a struggle. But we have the dining room they can be comfortable in. But yeah, I mean, just to watch the community come together and make a way. With
me today, Major Mike Harris with the Salvation Army in Greenville. So give us that 30,000-foot view, if you would, of how the storm has changed what you're doing this week and what your response has been.
Well, it's certainly changed our week. Everything I had planned has gone out the window. Every day we have some meetings. So I start at 8:30, where the United Way kind of bring together all the some of the non-profits, the partner agencies, if you will. They and we have representatives. We start with a meeting. Okay, these are the needs of the community. Who can help with this? It's well coordinated.
Yeah.
Our big role has been on the feeding side of things, and one of the things I've enjoyed is at the EOC, where you have obviously the county there, the United Way represented. Live Well, who are an agency I'm starting to get to know a lot better now, and ourselves have figured out, okay, we need to find people who are shut in, that nobody knows that they're there. And they've done a terrific job of identifying those folk. We can prepare the meals. Live Well will then deliver them to the individual homes. And then on top of that, we're going out every day with our mobile feeding unit. And we're basically identifying areas where there is no service, as in electric service, as well as other non-profits, and going in and feeding folk. And we're feeding up to 500 meals every day from our mobile feeding unit. So that's the ongoing service that we continue to do to this day.
Wow, 500 meals that you have prepared there on your campus.
Yeah, actually last night we had a bit of fun. We took out a grill. I went to a neighborhood and just grilled out. People came out, had a wonderful time with all the families, the children. It was just it was nice just to be there. And folk are so grateful. That's not what we do it for. We do it because it's the right thing to do. But I tell you, people have been very grateful. And again, it just reminds me that this is a very special place.
Sure. Major Harris with me today from the Salvation Army. Our listeners, they want to know how they can help. And that may mean a volunteer time. That may mean just making some donations, writing a check. Talk with us about the needs that you have and how our listeners, if someone listening today wants to do their part, how they can help out.
So it's an interesting phase we're hitting right now, because you're getting to that point where people are getting their power back. And that changes. When the grocery stores have got food and people have got power, there is a relative normalcy that comes with that. So at this stage of the game, there are two things that we will need. Of course, we'll always say cash, not just because we want cash. We can do whatever we need with cash.
Sure.
Anything. Totally flexible, totally pliable. The other thing that we're getting ready for now is the next phase, and that is some of the recovery elements. And for us, what we can do is provide clothing and household items through our family or thrift stores. So actually, if people could simply go through their closets, find the sort of clothes that they don't need, and just give them to one of our thrift stores. And please understand that what we do there is we give vouchers to people to go to those stores to get stuff for free. So although it's a store, and yes, we will put it on the floor, we're going to have a lot of people coming in that are going to get free stuff, and we just need to restock and able to do that. So any of our thrift stores, whether it be on North Street in Greenville, on Wade Hampton Boulevard in Taylor's, Old Greenville Highway in Clemson, Bypass Highway in Seneca, I'll throw those out very quickly. But any of those places will take clothing, and trust me, they'll be getting very busy soon with people with these vouchers, getting free clothes, because it's surprising how many have lost their stuff in this storm, when it's got soaked, when it's been blown away. It can be any number of reasons. So that's a big thing thing as well.
That surprises me. I had not even thought about that, but you're right. I mean, a lot of people, particularly whose homes may have been damaged or destroyed, they could have very well lost their clothes. So that's something that we all can do. Look, my closet needs to be cleaned out. So you've given me a project. I'm not sure I want to tell my wife Peg about this now because because she's been wanting me to clean my closet out anyway. But that's something anybody can do, isn't it?
It really is. And at the end of the day, and I'm as guilty as anybody, and men are the worst. You know, we just hold on to things. But at the end of the day, I've got a drawers full of things. I can probably say I wear about a third of what's in that drawer. I could easily get rid of 2/3. So I'm going to do it myself and just clean that out. And it is quite an easy thing to do. And we always feel better when we've got a bit more closet space. And boy, it could be used at a time such as this.
Sure. Major Mike Harris is with me today. We're talking about the Greenville, about the Salvation Army, which serves Greenville, Pickens, Oconee counties. Of course, there are other, you can talk with other groups around the state, Salvation Armies that cover different areas. Major Harris, let's talk for a minute, too. You mentioned cash because it does take money to run your organization. If someone wants to donate, what's the easiest way to do that?
Well, a couple of things you can do because this is a disaster. So this money will ultimately serve the disaster. So there is a sort of, if you will, a nationwide disaster fund that's been set up. And the easiest way to access it is to simply go to the website, which is disaster.salvationarmy.org. So again, that's disaster.salvationarmy.org. Failing that, if you want to drop a check off at the Salvation Army, we're on 501 Rutherford Street, so we'll be happy to take it. And just put on the memo, it's for the disaster, because we want to make it clear. Everything that's given for the disaster is used on the disaster. Every penny.
Yeah, well, that's easy enough. Disaster.salvationarmy.org. And, of course, you can also come by or call the Greenville office if you'd like to volunteer, because they can always use volunteers as well. Major Mike Harris, it's always a pleasure. Again, appreciate what you guys do in our community. Be safe out there, and just know that you got a large community praying for you and supporting you.
Joey, thank you very much, and thank you, everybody, for all the support and help you've given to your community through the Salvation Army. God bless you. Thank
Sure
you.
thing.
This is Word on the Street with Joey Hudson on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Your comments are welcome on the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. That's 864-477-5639. Emails always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com.
This is Word on the Street with Joey Hudson, powered by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
This year, I really thought I was going to have to boycott the holidays. I was going to lock myself away and not come out until 2025. But after finding PhD weight loss, you can bet I'll be at every holiday party I'm invited to. That's because PhD weight loss helped me take control with great confidence, support, and my new healthy body. The best part, PhD weight loss did it all without harmful drugs that keep you dependent on them to maintain your weight loss. It's a natural, medication-free approach to weight loss crafted to naturally diminish food-related thoughts, hunger, and cravings, making your weight loss journey more sustainable and enjoyable. Take it from me, I lost 33 pounds. The PhD weight loss program teaches you not just what to eat and when, but also how to think differently about food and finally let go of those cravings and get rid of the hunger naturally. Don't lock yourself away this holiday season. Call PhD Weight Loss today at 864-644-1900. That's 864-644-1900. Carolina Pregnancy Center is an independent faith-based nonprofit organization funded entirely through private donations. They receive no government funding. They have a mission to help women and families with pregnancy-related issues. And the best part is they also recognize the importance of sharing Christ with everyone who walks in the door. Joining me, a dear friend and the lady who keeps things going at CPC, Alexia Newman. How are you?
We're good. How are you? It's so great to talk to you.
Always a pleasure. Now, first, please tell me that your big, beautiful new office was not damaged in this storm.
Not at all. Not at all. We were so blessed. We still don't have power, but everything's intact. There was not a problem at all. We're so grateful.
Yeah. So talk with me a bit. Of course, we're all struggling with that. People throughout the upstate of South Carolina, western North Carolina, some parts of Georgia, not having utility service. Talk with us about how you managed to continue to serve the many people who depend on you.
Well, we have not been able to see clients in the office this week because we don't have electricity there, but we were able to we got a call from a pregnancy center up near Asheville that needed diapers and wipes and formula, and so we were able to pack up a huge amount of things and send up there, and then we got a call the next day, and so we sent literally a truck load of stuff, things that were needed up there, and we'll probably do that again next week. Our community has been good to us that we had a great surplus. Usually when we have a big surplus, we know that the Lord's getting ready to do something, and so there was a church in Spartanburg today that serves the inner city, and called and said, our people can't really get to y'all. Could we come and get some diapers to give out to our moms? And we said, absolutely. So this afternoon, our staff came in and we packed up diapers and formula for our Earn While You Learn clients, our mentoring moms that are being mentored, and so they'll be able to pick those things up tomorrow.
Yeah.
But we want to help the community.
Yep. When you're talking about having a surplus, knowing that the Lord was about to present something to you, the old saying, the Lord works in mysterious ways, I think that applies for this, does it not?
It does. And we were getting low on certain sizes, and Eric that works for us said, I think those sizes over at Cud Memorial Baptist Church, they're kind enough to let us store some stuff there. And he came back with his van loaded down, and it was exactly what we needed. So you can never outgive him. You just can't outgive him.
Yep.
Serve and to reach out and to love people with the love of Christ.
Sure. On our guest line today, Alexia Newman with the Carolina Pregnancy Center. Before we get too much further along here, Alexa, talk with us about what you do at Carolina Pregnancy Center, and just assume that there are people listening today who are not familiar with your ministry, and give them that elevator speech.
Oh, yeah. We are a crisis pregnancy center. We help families. When I came to work there 35 years ago, we mainly just helped women, but now we help families. And we have a male on staff that and male volunteers that will work with the dads that come in. We do free pregnancy testing. We do everything we do is free. We also do free ultrasounds. We're partnering with Middle Tiger over in Lyman to offer counseling, professional counseling for maybe some situations that are above our pay grade, which has been great to have that opportunity. With this new office, we have room to do that. We do post-abortion counseling for men and women. We have a mentoring program for dads and moms. We have a little store on our campus where they can buy diapers and formula and clothes and car seats, baby beds, anything that a baby would need.
Yeah.
And it's an educational program where we have classes every Tuesday for the moms and dads to take on nutrition. We do cooking classes, just, basic baby care, anything that a mom or a dad would need for a new baby. And then we even lessons on discipline and anger management and, all those things that you need as a parent. We work hand in hand with local churches to get our folks into a church where they can be loved and where they can sit under preaching and they'll grow in their faith. So it's just, we like to think of ourselves as a total package. We just want people to know it's so special to have a baby, and maybe they feel like that they can't make it. They don't know what to do, and we want to stand there and say there's hope and there's a way, and we'll walk with you. We're going to help you as long as you let us help you.
And for additional information, you can go to their website, carolinapregnancy.org, and see what this organization is all about. In our final minute or so together, Alexa, talk with our listeners about what they can do to help you in this challenging time, I guess you could say.
Well, we love to get diapers of all sizes and pull-ups, and any kind of formula that you can give. I sent a can of Nutramigen, which is a very expensive formula, and found out that one of the families, that was the kind that they needed, and they didn't think that they would be able to get it. So any kind of formula, wipes, all gift cards so that we can buy things that the girls put on their wish list that they need. We love to have people come and help us. Or if you have an expertise and you'd like to teach a class, we would love to have people come and teach class, a cooking class or crocheting or how to read to a young child. We want to equip these men and women to be the very best parents that they can be.
Sure. Well, I think the thing is you can always find something for someone to do. If they have the time, if they have money or whatever, there's always a need that they can help fill at Carolina Pregnancy Center. Alexia Newman, I just always I'm amazed at the work that you and your organization do in our community. I applaud you for that, and just hope that things that you get through and this tough time, like all of us. And thank you for helping sending diapers and formula to the families who need it in Western North Carolina, as they were hit even harder than we. That's just being a good neighbor. That's what Christ would expect from all of us. So thank you for doing that as well. Always a pleasure. Appreciate your time today.
Thank you. I always love to brag on the Lord and what he's doing at CPC.
Up next, Nissin Food USA is not even open in the upstate yet, but giving back in a big way.
This is Word on the Street with Joey Hudson on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Your comments are welcome on the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. That's 864-477-5639. Emails always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com.
Now back to Word on the Street with Joey Hudson on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Founded in 1958, Nissin Foods USA revolutionized the food industry by creating a product that could be packaged, prepared, and served all in one. You may recognize some of their brands as they offer a wide range of convenient and delicious meals, including cup noodles, top ramen, and hot and spicy firewok. The good news for upstate South Carolina, Nissin Foods will be opening a new manufacturing facility in August of 2025. It's a $228 million investment, creating hundreds of jobs for residents in the upstate. Although Nissin Foods is not operating yet, they're already demonstrating what a good corporate citizen they will be, as they are donating 50,000 plus servings of food to support those in need because of Hurricane Helene's devastation. On our guest line today, Vice President of Communications, Eric Grunissen. Eric, welcome. How are you?
Well, I'm doing well. I mean, all things considered. I'm glad to be talking to you today, Joey, but I got to say, I wish I was talking to you under much better circumstances, because the devastation that is in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, I mean, it's jarring. So, I'm glad to be talking with you. But like I said, I would much rather be talking to you as we are cutting the ribbon, opening up our manufacturing facility that's coming in August of 25. But we'll talk then. But in the meantime, Joey, I just want to say thank you to the entire Greenville community. You have been so welcoming to Nissin Foods, and we're really looking forward to being a part of the community. And with that, Nissin Foods truly believes in being a good neighbor and supporting our communities. And the moment at which it became very apparent of the devastation of Hurricane Helene here in Greenville, as well as the Western Carolina region, we knew we needed help. And we started email chain on a Saturday, and Tuesday morning there was a tractor trailer sitting outside the Ring of Fire media agency with 60 pallets of top ramen on it, and we've been going nonstop, handing them out around the community, taking them to the Greenville airport to get them on planes and helicopters to get them up as well to the folks in Asheville.
Yep. And I was going to say welcome to South Carolina, but we'll do the big welcoming at a later date. How's that? Because I agree with you. I wish it were under different circumstances that you and I were speaking today. But kudos to you for jumping in, and to Nissin Foods for recognizing the need here. And you guys aren't even really in our community yet, but jumping in and playing a big role in the recovery effort.
Well, it is. I got to say, it's not just myself. It's our entire team at Nissin Foods USA, as well as our holding company, Nissin Foods in Japan. Our founder, Momofuku Ando, had a quote that said, "Peace will come to the world when the people have enough noodles to eat."
Wow.
And I thought to myself, that is not motivation to come and to make sure that we're a part of the community. I mean, our community, our neighbors needed our help, and we're here. And we just want to say that we're here for Greenville. We appreciate everybody in Greenville for welcoming us. And, like we said, we're happy to help, but we look forward to celebrating and brighter days in the future. Again, all we want to do is just say we're here for Greenville, and we appreciate Greenville. We're here for the Western Carolina region. We're here for everybody.
Yep.
So we're all about community and family.
Yep. On our guest line today, Eric Grunison with Nissin Foods USA. Eric, take a minute and just introduce Nissin Foods to the upstate of South Carolina, Western North Carolina. Give me your elevator speech on what you guys do.
Nissin Foods USA. We manufacture top ramen and cup noodles. I guarantee that every single one of your listeners have our product in their pantry, and we thank every single person who has them. We were founded by Momofuku Ando. Our founder, he is an amazing man. He did so many great things in the world, and his legacy has lived on in all of the employees at Nissin Foods USA, as we truly believe in taking care of our neighbors. And that's, I guess you could say, the main reason why we wanted to come is because our neighbors in Greenville needed us.
Yep. Yep. What can you share with us? And it's very exciting news that you guys have chosen our area to build a new manufacturing facility, again, opening sometime later in 2025. What can you share with us about your new manufacturing facility and the jobs that will be offered?
We're going to be employing over 400 people. It is going to be a state-of-the-art facility. It's going to be noodle time here in Greenville. It's going to be over 400 jobs. We have just began the recruitment process. If you're interested in learning more, you go to nissinfoods.com. Go to our career page. You'll see information about some of the careers we're going to be hiring here in Greenville. Like it's just starting that process, and it will be ramping up in the months to come. And Nissin Foods offers an amazing benefits package. We're a great company to work for. I've worked for other companies in my life, and I'll tell you what, Nissin Foods, an awesome place to work.
Will this particular facility serve a particular region like the Southeast? How many other manufacturing facilities do you have?
We have two other manufacturing facilities. We have one in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, as well as Gardena, California. So, yeah, we will be serving the Southeast region. As you know, when we looked, we saw a need in this region for an increase in manufacturing, and Greenville is an awesome city. We loved everything about it, and we're just excited to be here.
So let's get back to our conversation today. Obviously, a lot of people hurting in the Carolinas. This storm that blew through just over a week or so now really did a lot of damage. A lot of people are hurting. You guys have stepped up. 50,000 plus meals. That is huge. Thank you, Eric.
Well, thank you. But I want to say again, we're glad we could help. But we look forward to celebrating much brighter days with everybody in Greenville, the Western Carolina region. We're happy that we were able to help, but to be fully honest with you, I wish we didn't have to help.
Sure.
Helene never would have come ashore, and it would have never happened. But unfortunately, it did happen, and we're here for our neighbors. So we're happy to be able to help. And we look forward to brighter days of celebration and talking to you and being a part of the community. Brighter days are ahead.
Yep, absolutely they are. And I got to say, you could not have partnered with a better group than Ring O Fire, Brian Stearns and his team over there. They do, to talk about serving the community, they do a lot in upstate South Carolina, and so you picked a good partner there.
You are absolutely right with that. Brian, Carissa, Marnie, the entire team, absolute rock stars. This drive started with a phone call from Brian and I on a Saturday, and he's like, we need help. And so we're going to store this. I kind of had a panic inside me. I'm like, oh, gosh, we've got this process going. What's it going to look like? What are we going to do? Rest assured, Brian and his crew, they're like, well, we got this. Tuesday morning, one of his guys is on a forklift. We're unloading it. We're pallet jacking it. We're storing it in their facility. I'm like, okay, great. Now there's 60 pallets of noodles here. What do we do? Brian's like, got it lined out. Got this relationship in place. Got this relationship in place. We're going here. We're going there. And in 48 hours, we're down to 6 pallets left. And those are going to be gone by the end of the day.
Wow. Yeah. Well, Brian and his team, they know everybody in the upstate. So when you want to network, they can certainly do that for you. Eric Grunissen, it was a pleasure talking with you. And I, too, I share the idea that I wish it had been in different circumstances. But, hey, we're going to have plenty of time moving forward when we can do a proper introduction of Nissin Foods. And I look forward to being in a ribbon cutting in a couple of years.
Absolutely. We're going to be there. Like I said, August 2025, we open. If you're interested in joining the Nissin family, I really encourage you to do that. NissinFoods.com. Go to our career page. There's a section on there about Greenville. And we would love for everybody to join the team and know that if you are listening to this right now and something comes up in your life and you're like, I need some help, hit us up at Nissin Foods. We're here for our community.
Thank you. Be safe out there, and we'll talk again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Sure thing. That's it for this week's Word on the Street. Remember, 989WRD.com is your source of all the information concerning relief efforts for Hurricane Helene. Be sure and jump in and help out some of the organizations we talked to today. And I love the idea of the Salvation Army. Just clean your closet out. That's something we all need to do, isn't it? And take it to a Salvation Army thrift store. If you missed parts of today's show, be sure and go back and listen on the podcast. Just search for Joey Hudson, Just the Truth on the Odyssey app or wherever you listen to your podcast. You can also subscribe at my website, joeyhudson.com. And if you need to stock up on some of those things that maybe you're running short on because of the storm, head by your local Ingles Market. You'll find a full selection of gourmet cheeses, sliced to order deli meats, fresh sandwiches, homemade soups, and party platters for any occasion. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This is Word on the Street with Joey Hudson on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.